Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Steve. Today I'm going to take you through. I'm going to show you how to differentiate. We're going to do differentiation. So I'm going to start with the lower case up to the most complex case. So for this differentiation, if you know nothing about differentiation, if you don't know what is differentiation, you're going to understand what is differentiation and how you're going to do differentiation through these 6 examples that are written here. But first, there's something you have to know. A rule in differentiation is that you multiply and then you subtract. So you multiply and subtract. So when you're told to differentiate y is equals to 2x raised to power 3. Yeah. So when differentiating here, we're going to write delta y over delta x is equals to, remember what I just said. When differentiating, you're using two principles. Multiply, the first thing is you multiply, the second thing you subtract. So it will be 2 multiplied by 3, and then x raised to power 3 subtracted to 1. So the first thing is we've multiplied here and here we've subtracted. So this is going to give us 6, and then this one it will be x raised to power 2. That's our answer. So you multiply and then subtract. Moving to our B, our number 2. The same we've said here. We're going to write, when you're differentiating this, is delta y over delta x. Remember, what did we say? You multiply, and then after multiplying is when you're subtracting the index. So it will be 4 multiplied by 2, and then x raised to power 2 subtracted to 1. And then minus, here the power is 1. So it will be 8 multiplied by 1, x raised to power 1 subtracted to 1, plus, remember any number raised to power 0, it will give you 1. So this 10, we are going to say this is like 10 raised to power x raised to power. This is like 10 times 10x raised to power 0, and we know x raised to power 0 is going to give us 1. So it's the same as writing 1 or no x. So when a number does not have any variable in front of it, the number disappears, because when you bring 10 multiplied by 0 is going to give us 0. So when differentiating a number, when differentiating something and that number has no variable on the side, that number disappears. So it will be, that number will disappear like that. So this will be 4 multiplied by 2 is going to give us 8x, and then 2 minus 1 is going to give us 1, and then minus 8 multiplied by 1 is 8, and then x raised to power 1 minus 1, it's 0. So if x is raised to power 0, it means x raised to power 0, it means it's 1. So this is equivalent to 8x minus 8, because any number raised to power 0 is 1. So this x of ours is equivalent to 1. Are we together? So there you have it. Section. Remember, we are the third section. Remember, we are multiplying and then we subtract. Here we're going to say delta y over delta x is equivalent to, this is negative 3. So it will be negative 3. The first thing is multiply. Negative 3 multiplied by x, it will be negative 3x. And then remember, the power, it's negative. So it will be negative 3 minus 1 plus 8 multiplied by negative 2. It will give us negative 8x, negative 16, sorry, negative 16x. And then negative 2 minus 1 plus, this one will disappear, plus 0. So it will disappear like that. So when coming here, it will be negative 3x. Remember, negative 3 minus 1 is going to give us negative 4. And then plus negative 16, negative 16x. Remember, it's minus 2 minus 1 is going to give us minus 3. This can be further written as negative 3x raised to power negative 4 minus 16x raised to power negative 3. There you have it. We've differentiated that figure. Remember the signs. Be careful when dealing with the signs. Now you're moving to our fourth here example. You're differentiating this. Remember the indices rule that you did, of which you can check it on this link up here. We said here we're going to write delta y over delta x, but we're not going to differentiate the way it is. You're going to make it easier or simpler for differentiating. First, we're going to simplify it. This is same as writing x raised to power a half plus 4 raised to power 3, and then this is a third. This is a third. So when it's a third, you're going to do what? When it's a third, you're going to write raised to power 1 over 3. You have it like that. So a root becomes a fraction. So if it's square root, it's a half. If it's third root, it's a third. If it's fourth root of that number, is 1 over 4 of that. So when you're here, we're going to do now our differentiation. We're going to say a half. The first thing is multiply a half x. So this you multiply by this is a half x, and then up there it will be a half subtracted to 1, and then plus. Here we're going to, when you open the bracket, this is 4 raised to power 3 over 3. So this 3 over 3, when we cancel, you're going to give us 1. So this is the same as 4 raised to power 1, which is the same as 4. So our answer will be a half x raised to power negative a half. That's it. Here you can pause the video and then check how you've done it. Here we've simplified it. We've said this a third will come to this. When you open the bracket, it will be 3 over 3. So 3 over 3, when you cancel, is going to give us 1. So 4 raised to power 1 is the same as 4. And remember, what did we say? If a number has no variable at the end, that number disappears. So this number, the whole of this will disappear. We're going to be left with a half of x raised to power negative a half. We're good there. We're going to move to this other part, number 5. You're going to differentiate. When differentiating this, you're going to do the same things. Delta y, that is, you're differentiating the function of I with respect to x. So 1 over a half over x raised to power 2. So here the thing you're going to do is make it simpler for us. You're going to, because this is the same as writing a half multiplied by 1 over x squared plus 8 multiplied by 1 over x raised to power 4 plus 3. This, when you multiply, you're going to get this. This, when you multiply to this, you're going to get this, and this the same. So you're going to take this to make it simpler. We're going to, from here, we're going to bring this part to the top. So it will be a half of x raised to power negative 2. When you're taking a number to the numerator, its power becomes a negative. A negative simply means it's from the denominator. And then plus, we have 8. It will be 8, and then we are going to take on the x raised to power 4 to the numerator. It will be x subtracted to 4, and then plus 3. Now you're going to do the differentiation. The differentiation, you remember, what did you say? You multiply and then you subtract. So it will be negative 2 multiplied by a half. Negative 2 multiplied by a half, it will be negative 1 x, and then negative 2 minus 1, and then plus negative 4 multiplied by 8 is going to give us 32. It's going to give us negative 32 x. Remember, what did you say? We, after multiplying, we subtract. It will be negative 4 subtracted to 1, and then because this 3 has no variable, this will be will disappear, the 3 will disappear. Then from there it will be, when simplifying this, it will be negative x raised to power negative 3 plus negative 32x raised to power negative 5. This is the same as writing negative x raised to power 3 minus 32x raised to power negative 5. There you have that as that's our answer. So you can pause this and then check from the top how we've explained it up to there. So if up to here you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you can click the subscription button before we move on. We're going to move to our last example. So our last example is here. Our last example, you're going to do differentiation of this. You're going to write, when differentiating this, you're going to write delta y over delta x. And then you're going to take the denominator to the numerator. This means that the power of the denominator is going to be a negative. So this will be 4x negative 1 minus 1 over 6x minus 2 plus 8x minus 5. Here together. So when you take the denominator to the numerator, the power becomes a negative. So here you're going to do now our subtraction, multiplication, the first thing, and then you do our subtraction. So it will be negative 4 multiplied by negative 1 is going to give us negative 4, and then x, negative 1, you subtract 1, then minus 1 over 6. 1 over 6 multiplied by negative 2. So, and then 1 over 6 multiplied by negative 2. So this is going to give us negative. It's going to give us 1 over 6 multiplied by negative 2. There we have it. And then x, we have raised to power negative 2 minus 1. And then plus this multiplied by this. It will be 8 multiplied by negative 5 into bracket. And then x raised to power negative 5 minus 1. So we're going to simplify all this further. So this is negative 4x minus 1 is going to give us minus 2. And then subtracted 2. This multiplied by this is going to give us minus 1 over 3. And then this, so this is minus 2 from here, minus 1. So it's going to give us minus 3 into bracket plus minus 8 multiplied by minus 5. So you're going to get minus 40. And then x raised to power negative 5 minus 1. This is going to give us x raised to power negative 6. So when you're opening the bracket, it will be negative 4x minus 2. This minus, when you open the bracket, it will be positive, plus 1 over 3x minus 3. And then this is a minus, so it will be minus 40x raised to power negative 6. So there is our answer. We've done the differentiation of that function. So delta y over delta x. So you can pause the video and then check how you've done the whole of it, how we did our first part there, how you worked through to the end. So, but our question for today is, why do you differentiate? Why do you differentiate? Why are you needed to differentiate? We are needed to differentiate to find a function of a gradient. That's the reason why we are doing all of this, for us to find the function of a gradient. And what's a function of a gradient? That we're going to do in our next video. So this is the part 1 of our video of differentiation. So you're going to do the next part of. So thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next video.